college basketball analyst, handicapper extraordinaire, Peter Loshak, SBR TV and SBR Forum, back with us here. SBRforum.com is the website to get to.
Higher.
Some hoops games will give you the edge on. What's going on, Peter?
Hey, how you doing?
Tell folks about the rollover you guys have going on right now, Peter.
Right, yeah, well, I'm doing that. You know, I won the Beat the Prick contest, and so I'm publicly rolling over the prize money that they gave me. They actually took me out because I'm an SBR employee. They decided to pay everyone, you know, as they took me out of the running, but then to give me the first place prize money anyway. So, and the only thing I had to do was publicly blog about the rollover. So I've been doing that. It's going pretty well. You know, I'm kind of doing some things that I might not normally do with it. Like, you know, sometimes I tail posters pick on the forum just to, like, you know, give it a sense of community. But it's going well. I'm up about $500 now, which is about an ROI of about plus 4%, and I'm almost 50% done with it. So, you know, I think it'll be good to show a little, you know, nice profit at the end of it and then cash out the whole thing.
Well, tonight we got NIT to choose from in NBA action. Do you get involved much with the NIT, and does anybody get involved with those games?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, if you follow my blog, I mean, basically the whole thing has been saved by me betting Creighton overs in the CBI, and in fact, I just bet the over again on their next game with Oregon that just came out today. So yeah, I looked at the NIT games tonight. I have a slight lean on the under in the Washington State Wichita State game. Other than that, you know, I'm probably not going to be betting those. I did bet the under on that one a little bit, 144, but that's about it. And I'm not going to bet it in the rollover.
The weekend games for the tournament, the lines are up. And first of all, do you expect much movement between now and Saturday on Butler, VCU, and Kentucky, UConn?
No, I don't. You know, Butler and VCU, the exact same kind of team. Kentucky and UConn, the exact same kind of team, same kind of fan base. So I think the public money right now is split in those two games. I think it'll be split up till game time, for sure.
Even though Kentucky has a legion of fans that seem to tend to influence the lines somewhat.
Definitely they do, but they're also the favorite, and you know, UConn is, you know, a Big East team. There's a ton of, you know, obviously the Big East has a huge following as well. You know, there might be small movement, but I definitely don't see anything huge.
Butler gives 2.5 to VCU. It's tough to determine what's the more impressive or more improbable story of these two. With Butler getting back here for a second straight year, do you see any edge one way or the other when that kind of a line comes out?
Not really. You know, I mean, I have my, if I had to make a bet, opinion, which is basically, you know, I have no opinion, but if I had to make something, I know what I would do, which I would bet VCU on the money line again. But because I do think it's, you know, they're pretty evenly matched. For that game and for the other game as well, I think if there are any, like, real edges that are going to crop up, it'll be either in live betting or second half betting. There can definitely still be edges in live betting, especially with given how many people, how much public money there will probably be paying attention to this game. So, you know, if one team gets up or down by a lot, I think it could be, or even by just a moderate amount, some of those live betting lines, especially at the smaller rec books, or the books that cater to rec players, could get significantly off. So you might see some great value there, and there might be good value on the second half lines. Like, I would recommend what I'll probably do, which is actually similar to what I did with the UConn San Diego State game. If one of the teams is down by a lot at the half, I'll be looking very strongly at taking the team that's down their money line, which will be a big favorite line, but probably not a huge favorite line. And you know, I would probably I would tend to think that there would be value in that line, if anything.
And then, you know, all told, you're talking about some second half lines and stuff, and I see that some of the over under. Yeah. Like Butler has been under in 7 of their last 10 games. The total was about 132.5, somewhere along that line. Are you tempted to evaluate whether that's going to be under or over the total?
Well, the problem is that these games, you know, like these Final Four games, are a little bit of a different animal than these other games, like the regular season games at the end of the year, and then even from their other playoff games. So things can get really, really tricky. Unless I have like a very strong reason to believe that some trend is going to continue, like I do with the Creighton over trend, I would tend to lay off those kinds of like a total bet on a game with a 133. I tend to lean towards the over in games like that, but I definitely wouldn't bet it here. For totals, I'd be looking much more towards the half times, you know, taking either a first half or a second half, and sometimes betting, you know, betting the first half and then planning to bet the second half a certain way depending on the first half goes, how the first half goes.
So don't read it. For some people will say, well, VCU and Butler, these teams are going to be nervous to be on the big stage in Houston. They're not going to shoot well. Lean toward the under. You don't buy into that so much.
If that were the case, then I would say take the first half under, not the full game under, because then you eliminate the risk of A, overtime, B, the team's getting more comfortable, C, all the fouling at the end. So if that's your criteria, I would say probably the first half under is a better bet than the full game under.
Good advice. Peter Loshak, SBR TV, SBRforum.com, and the rollover money from the Beat the Prick contest he blogs about up on the website, Betting Sports to Beat the Rollover. His blog is up there now. What else going on the forum site this week? I'm sure it's another big week for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's gearing up for baseball now, so there's a ton of people coming in with their, expert analysis. A lot of times there's a lot of people on the forum who are sort of experts on their local teams, and those guys, especially at the beginning of the year, are guys that I really like to get their opinions on in general on their teams and just whatever they have to say. That's especially great in college basketball, but it's also good in baseball. Baseball's a little bit different because the information is more readily available. There's not a lot of information that's more accessible to people who follow a particular team closely. But there's a ton of activity regarding baseball and just winding down the NHL and NBA. And there's a lot of guys who specialize in the playoffs in those sports. So I'm definitely eager to have that start and see what the people on the forum say, because a lot of times that information is worth tailing.
Peter, always a pleasure having you on. Enjoy the week, man.
Thanks very much. You too.